जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय कुंज जय गोपी जनावल्लभ जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय गोपी जय गिरिवराधारी जय गोपी जनावल्लभ जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रज जनरंजना जय यशोदनंदना जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रज जनरंजना जय ब्रजनरंजना जय यमुनातिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय चारी जय यमुनातिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनावल्लभ जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय गोपी जनावल्लभ गिरिवराधारी गिरिवराधारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Nitai Gaurango, 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 Gaura Hari, Nitai Gaurango, Hari Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Nandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hari, Jaya Patita Pavana, Gaura Hari, Pati Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Jaya Radha, Radhanata Radha, Radhanata Sri Radhe, Jayo Radha, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Nitai, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. नाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Today we will continue to discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 22nd chapter, entitled The Marriage of Kardama Muni and Devavati. We will do from 21 to 26, 27. In the paper we got the 26. Amantriya tam munivaram अनुज्ञातः सहानुगा प्रतस्थे रथमारूह्य सभार्यः स्वापुरं नृपः आमन्त्रितं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञाता सहानुगा प्रतस्थे रथमारूह्य सभार्यः स्वपुरं नृपः आमन्त्र्यतं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञातः सहानुगः प्रतस्थे रथमारूह्य सभार्यः स्वपुरं नृपः आमन्त्र्यतं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञातः सहानुगा प्रतस्थे रथमारूह्य सभार्यः स्वपुरं नृपः आमन्त्रितं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञाता सभा प्रतस्थे रथमारूह्य सभार्यः स्वपुरं नृपः आमन्त्रितं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञाता सहानुजा प्रतस्थे रथमारूह्य सभार्यः स्वपुरं नृपः अमान्त्यतं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञातः सहानुगा प्रतस्थे रथमारूह्य सभार्यः स्वपुरं नृपः। माताजी आमन्त्रितं मुनिवरम् अनुज्ञातः सहानुगः प्रतस्थे रथमारूह्य सभार्यः स्वपुरं नृपः आमन्त्र्य taking permission to go tam from him Kardama Munivaram from the best of the sages Anujnataha being permitted to leave Sahanuga along with his retinue, Rathaste started for Rathamaruhya, mounting his chariot, Sabharyaha, along with his wife, Sapuram, his own capital, Rupaha, the emperor. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After asking and obtaining the great sage's permission to leave, the monarch mounted his chariot with his wife and started for his capital, followed by his retinue. Along the way, he saw the prosperity of the tranquil seas, beautiful hermitages, on both the charming banks of the Saraswati, the river so agreeable to saintly persons. Purport. As cities are constructed in the modern age with great engineering and architectural craftsmanship, so in days gone by there were neighborhoods called Rishikulas, where great saintly persons resided. In India, there are still many magnificent places for spiritual understanding. There are many rishis and saintly persons living in nice cottages on the banks of Ganges and Yamuna for purpose of spiritual cultivation. While passing through the Rishikulas, the king and his party were very much satisfied with the beauty of cottages and hermitages. It is stated here, Pashan Ashrama Sampadaha. The great sages had no skyscrapers, but hermitages were so beautiful that king was very much pleased at that sight. Om Ajnanatimrandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chachunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namo Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachacya Deshatarne Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakti Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, all the devotees of the Lord. So, text 21. Maitreyo Vacha Sa Ugra Dhanman Niyadeva Bhashe Asin Chatushni Maravindanabham Diyopagrunhan Sritashobhitena Mukhena Cheto Lulubhite Devahutya. Maitreya Rishi said, O great warrior Vidura, The sage Kardama said this much, and only then he became silent, thinking of his worshipable Lord Vishnu, who has on lotus, who has a lotus on his navel. As he silently smiled, his face captured the mind of the devotee, who began to meditate upon the great sage. Purport. It appears that Kardamuni was fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, because as soon as he became silent, he at once began to think of Lord Vishnu. That is the way of Krishna consciousness. Pure devotees are so absorbed in the thought of Krishna that they have no other engagement, although they may seem to think or act otherwise. They are always thinking of Krishna. The smile of such a Krishna conscious person is so attractive that simply by smiling he wins so many admirers, disciples and followers. Sonugnatva vyavasitam maheshwa duhitasputam tasmai gunaganadabhya gunadhyaya dadau tulyam parharshitaha. After having unmistakably known the decision of the queen as well as that of devotee, the emperor most gladly gave his daughter to the sage, whose host of virtues was equalled by hers. Shatarupa Maharagni Paribarhan Mahadhanan Dampatyo Paryadat Pritya Bhusha Vasa Parichidan. Empress Satarupa lovingly gave most valuable presents suitable for the occasion, such as jewelry, clothes, and household articles in dowry to the bride and bridegroom. Purport. The custom of giving one's daughter in charity with a dowry is still current in India. The gifts are given according to the position of the father of the bride. Paribarhan Mahadhanan means the dowry which must be awarded to the bridegroom at the time of marriage. Here Mahadhana means greatly valuable gifts befitting the dowry of an empress. The words Bhusha Vasaha Parichadan also appeared here. Bhusha means ornaments, and Vasha means clothing. Parichadan means various household articles. All things befitting the marriage ceremony of an emperor's daughter were awarded to Kardamuni, who was until now observing celibacy as a brahmachari. The bride devotee was very richly dressed with ornaments and clothing. In this way, Kardamuni was married with the full opulence to a qualified wife and was endowed with the necessary paraphernalia for a household life. In the Vedic way of marriage, such a dowry is still given to bridegroom by the father of the bride. Even in poverty-stricken India, there are marriages where hundreds and thousands of rupees are spent for dowry. The dowry system is not illegal, as some have tried to prove. The dowry is a gift to the daughter by the father to show goodwill, and it is compulsory. In rare cases where the father is completely unable to give a dowry, it is enjoined that he must at least give a fruit or a flower. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, God can be pleased even by a fruit and flower. When there is a financial inability and no question of accumulating a dowry by other means, one can give a fruit or flower for the satisfaction of the bridegroom. Prattam duhitaram samrat sadruchaya gatam vyataha upaguyata bhavubhyam utkanchon matitashaya. Thus, relieved of his responsibility by handing over his daughter to a suitable man, Swambhu Manu, his mind agitated by feelings of separation, embraced his affectionate daughter with both arms. A father always remains in anxiety until he can hand over a grown-up daughter to a suitable boy. A father and mother's responsibility for children continues until they marry them to a suitable spouses. When the father is able to perform that duty, he is relieved of his responsibility. Ashakruvam tadviraham munchan bashvakalamu asindamba vachete neto dairduhati sika. The emperor was unable to bear the separation of his daughter. Therefore, tears poured from his eyes again and again, drenching his daughter's head as he cried, "My dear mother, my dear daughter." Purport. The words Amba is significant. A father sometimes addresses the daughter in affection as a mother and sometimes as a darling. The feeling of separation occurs because until the daughter is married, she remains the daughter of the father. But after her marriage, she is no longer claimed as a daughter in the family. She must go to the husband's house, where after marriage she becomes the property of the husband. According to Manu Samhita, Jai Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada. According to Manu Samhita, a woman is never independent. She must remain the property of the father while she is not married, and she must remain the property of the husband until she is elderly and has grown-up children of her own. In old age, when the husband has taken sannyasa and left home, she remains the property of the sons. A woman is always dependent, either upon a father, husband, or elderly sons. That will be exhibited in the life of Devhuti. Devhuti's father handed over responsibility for her to the husband, Kardamuni, and in the same way, Kardamuni also left home, giving the responsibility to his son, Kapila Deva. This narration will describe these events one after another. Amantriam tu munivaram anujnata sahanuga rasaste rasaramaruya sabharya sapuram rupa upayorishukulatnyaya saraswatya surodhaso rishinam upashantanam prashayanna srama sampada. After asking and obtaining the great sage's permission to leave, the monarch mounted his chariot with his wife and started for his capital, followed by his retinue. Along the way he saw the prosperity of the tranquil seas, beautiful hermitages on both the charming banks of Saraswati, the river so agreeable to saintly persons. So, as we discussed, Swambhu Manu brought his daughter to Kardamarshi to give her in marriage. Kardamarshi already been told by Lord Narayan when he appeared on the bank of the Bindu Sarovar, having seen the wonderful asterisk performed by sage Kardamarshi. Lord was very pleased and informed that when I leave this place, then Swambhu Manu will come with his daughter. She will be a suitable wife for you, and you marry. Because you are performing these austerities to get a good wife suitable for you. He wanted to marry just to fulfill the orders of his father. Scripturally, father's instruction, parents' instruction has to be obeyed. Mother's order, father's order cannot be ignored. It is responsibility of the son always to see that how I can make the father happy. That's like you can see the Ramayana also comes up. Lord Sri Ram, shown by his example, to just follow the orders of the father. though father has never informed him verbally to go on exile, he kept quiet because he has given a word to his wife, queen, and also he has given a word to Ram also that tomorrow you will be king. There will be ceremony, coronation ceremony. But in the very long back in the battle, when Dasharatha was fighting with Ravana, in that fight there was a situation where the chariot driver was killed by Ravana. Without chariot driver, you can't fight war, chariot. So the Kaikeyi who followed the youngest queen, she took charge of the driving, and she also helped him that war. End of the war, King Dasharatha gives benediction. Ask for any benediction. She asked that when the time comes, you can ask 2 benedictions. So when the time comes, I will ask. I will keep it as a reserve. So then this time she asked for the 2 benedictions. One benediction that my son Bharat should become king, not Ram. Second, that Ram should go on exile for 14 years, putting the clothes properly suited for the sages, not in the royal opulences. So now he has given word to his queen also, he has given word to his son that he will become king tomorrow. It's all happening overnight. So understanding the what is going on in the mind of his father, he, in whatever he does, is transgressing the dharma. Once a king has given a word, he cannot say no. And the coronation ceremony of Ram not only approved by the king, also by the entire ministry and the citizens. So if you say the no, I cancel it, that is also not dharma. So understanding that father's what is the mood, what is thinking, unable to give a decision. So Ram, being the first class son, he decided himself to go on exile, so that father's name and fame will remain high. That he said that he is the first class son who just to follow the instructions even though father has not said. And when father said something, the son does, he is the second class son. When father says something, he doesn't do, he is the third class son, but for nothing. In the same way, a first class disciple is the one, when we serve spiritual master, we understand what spiritual master wants. Before spiritual master can say, he should act on. That's why in the gone days, the disciples used to serve in the Gurukul. So then he understands what is the mood, what my Guru Maharaj wants. Next, we can take example of all proper disciples, even in old age, how they are going on touring and preaching throughout the world, taking all difficulties. Because mood and mission of Prabhupada is to spread this Krishna consciousness throughout the world. And they taken that responsibility. Those Srila Prabhupada never told that you do this one particularly. It is a common general instruction to all the disciples. In the same way, when we serve spiritual master, we understand what is the mood of my spiritual master, what he expects from me. So without telling, if we do that activity, he is considered the first class disciple. When he says spiritual master say and we do, that is called middle class. When spiritual master say and still we don't do, that is third class. Okay? Sometimes spiritual master do not repeat why you are not done. Because already you didn't do, it is you commit offense. When you don't do, after repeating, then it becomes Guru Aparadha, offense against the spiritual master. So no Guru want the disciple to fall down. That's why they do not insist second time, unless it is a very serious situation. Here also, you can see in this instance also, so Lord informed, and accordingly the Lord disappeared from the scene. Kardamani was ready. He understood that very soon Swambhu Manu, the king, is going to come with his daughter. He completed the formalities required after completion of the austerities. He was waiting as king came with the queen Shatarupa and his daughter Dehuti mounting on the golden chariot. And there are a lot of conversation, previous chapters, we have seen it in previous chapter. And king informed that my daughter, I want to give in marriage to you, you are suitable person. She heard from Narada Maharshi about you. And since the time she heard, she fixed her mind to get married with you only. So a girl once decides that if she wants to marry, mentally one thinks she should not change her thought again. Oh no, he's not good, I will marry other. So it is the scriptural injunction. Once she thought, because this is Satya Yuga, not like Kali Yuga. So once she thought, she has to stick to that, whether good or bad. So she decided to marry you. I brought my daughter, and each king glorified the qualities of the sage. Sage also glorified the qualities of king also. Finally, yesterday we were discussing that after saying everything, Karda Maharshi also said that I will marry your daughter, but after marry, when you get a son, then I will depart, I will take the Vanaprastha. So it is a lesson for us that no one should remain for whole life with the family. As Prabhupada mentioned in the previous verses, that the human form of the life, even if it is 100 years, divided into 4 parts. First part, 25 years for the Brahmacharya. Next 25, 26 to 50 years of age is for the household life. And after 50, one should take the Vanaprastha. Go to the forest. In the 7th canto, Srila Prabhupada writes that Vanaprastha means go to Vrindavana. Nowadays we don't have the forest. In the gone days, forest used to be public property. Anything available there, you can just take and eat them. Nowadays, you can't. Everything is given on contract to somebody. If you take some fruits from some apple tree, they will charge you, beat you also. But now, Srila Prabhupada says that, so Vanaprastha means once you complete your responsibility in the family life, so one can go to Vrindavana and to serve the Lordship. So Vrindavan is there, but every temple is a Vrindavana. Where Vrindavan means it's the pure consciousness. The place is there, but the pure consciousness. As Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Meravana Vrindavana. Means the pure consciousness of the devotee is also Vrindavan. A temple where the Lord is served with all following all regulative principles and purity, the temple is also Golok Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that our devotees who are serving the Lord, they are already liberated while in this material body. But the devotional service starts after the liberation. So now, while in this material body they are serving, means they are Devan Mukta. And also Prabhupada wrote in other places that our temple and paraphernalia, they are not different from the Vaikuntha. So any service done in the temple and anything related to the service of the Lord is non-different from the direct service to the Lord. It is. So here also Karda Maharshi said that I will take Vanaprastha. So after last 25 years is for sannyasa. So if you agree for this condition, then I am going to marry. After saying so, Karda Maharshi kept quiet. So today starts that. Maitreya said that after great warrior, after sage, Karda Maharshi said much only about, and then became silent, thinking of. He became silent, immediately started thinking of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada read that how pure devotees, whatever they have to talk, immediately they start thinking about Krishna. Sonagnata vivasitam maisha dvitasputam. So both have given. King is ready to give his daughter in marriage, and the sage Karda Maharshi also agreeing to marry Devahuti. So now the permission, there was discussion. King discussed with the queen Shatarupa, And she agreed, and also daughter Dehuti also agreed. After agreeing everyone, then he has given his daughter in marriage to Kardamas. Okay. Shatarupa Maharagni Pariha Paribarya Mahadhanan Dampatyo Paryadat Pritya Bhushavasa Parichidan. A girl in marriage never should be given just without dowry. Dowry is the right. One of the name for the girl, daughter is Dohitri. That Dohitri comes the word from Dohita. Dohita word is like a milking the cow. The daughter got the right throughout her life to milk the money from the parents. It is birthright. No one can refuse. But that's why her name, one of the name in the Sanskrit is called, daughter is called Dohitra. Okay. That's why whenever she comes to home, and she takes something from the parent house. Because in the gone days, there was no, all the property used to be in the name of the son. But daughter is also entitled. So in lieu of the property, father used to give the ornaments and all riches as a dowry to the in marriage. Okay. And whenever she comes, she can take also. And similarly, Shatarupa also given to her daughter all the great gold ornaments and the clothing and other paraphernalia required for to maintain the household life. Prattam pradhuitaram samrar sadruchaya gataviyata upaguyata bhavibhyam utkanchon amitashaya. Swambhu Manu, the daughter is very, even now also you can see in the family, daughter is very dear to parents. If you got one daughter and one son, son may not be such much dear, but as you got the affection for the daughter. And daughter also throughout her life, till the last breath of her life, she will love the parents. Sometimes son, after getting married, he just move away from the parents. He won't have that much affection for parents as he was having before the marriage. But whereas the daughter, throughout her life, always love the parent. Because the daughter understands the pain of a mother. Sons cannot understand the pain of a mother and father. So, and daughter is always very very affectionate for the parents. So Swambhu Manu also out of affection took his daughter in his arms and tears coming from his eyes. He understood that now he can't see her anymore. Once married, she goes. Only if there is any other ceremony, she may come back to parental house. Otherwise, she has to remain her whole life in the in-laws' house. That's like Kshatriya community. Once married. She never can come back to the parental house unless there is a marriage in the parental house. Otherwise, nothing for any other activity. Ashukravamstadviraham munchan bashpa kalamuhu. Understanding the separation. Now that we have to leave my daughter here. So both Shatarupa and Swambhu Manu both started feeling the separation. Tears started coming from their eyes. And out of affection, he said, Amba. Daughter is always adjust with Amba. You will see in other cantos also, you will come. The daughter always adjusts with Amma. In India also, daughter, when grown up, is not allowed to call her name. South India, if you go, all the daughters' name end with Amma, South India. And because the daughter, I remember it, because to call the daughter by the name is considered inauspicious, uncivilized it is. I remember when I was 11th class, I think, 11 years of age, I was calling my sister with name. The barber who was cutting my hair slapped on me. I don't know, because I was just 11 years old, I don't know. I was just calling my sister's name Lakshmi. So Lakshmi, come here, drink water. Those days, barber used to come home and do it, hair cutting. So he slapped me. I said, why beat me? Huh? Why you call your sister Lakshmi? Huh? You say Lakshmamma. So if you go to South India, still all the names of the girls. Nowadays, TV culture has come. They give the name Rinku, Minku, Pinku, all, no meaning at all. Huh? But if you see the villages, still even now in villages, you'll find the names with ending with the Amma. Huh? So that's why the daughter, when addressed, even many places you can see, daughter is always addressed with Amba, Amma. Huh? That out of love, a father always addressed as the mother takes care of her son, daughter also take care of her father in the same way. When you're taking care, father in trouble, no matter, daughter will always leave other work and come to serve her father. So always takes care of. So out of love is addressing her, my mother. The word Amba is significant. A father sometimes addresses the daughter in affection as a mother, and sometimes my darling. The feeling of separation occurs because until the daughter is married, she is the property of parents. Once got married, she cannot claim that, oh, you are my daughter, you must obey. No. One daughter given in marriage, she has nothing to do with the parents. She will have the affection, but she belongs to the in-laws house. So that she becomes the property of the husband, nothing else. That's why her surname also changed. After asking the permission, obtaining permission from the sage to leave, the Kshatrarupa, King Swayambhumanu, along with the queen and the ministers who followed and all paraphernalia, they left the place for his capital city. On the way they were traveling on the bank, both sides of the banks of the rivers, they could see the beautiful hermitages of the sages. Wonderful cottages you will find if you go to in Vrindavan Revati, what is that? Ramandreti ashram. Beautiful ashram, sir. Nicely made it. All made of the mud, but looks very nice, Ramandreti. So you will find on the banks of in the Ganges, the villages and especially ashramas, so called hermitages used to be settled on the banks of the river because for the sages, Brahmin devotees, water is very essential. Everything, you take the bath 3 times in a day, others they don't take. And always purification water required. To stay on the banks of the river is considered very, very auspicious. In other places written that anyone staying on the bank of the rivers, this holy river like Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, the 5-mile bank radius on both sides, they got the same effect of staying on the river. Okay. So that's why you find wherever the rivers are flowing even today, on the banks of rivers, the big towns, villages, always there. So the king also saw along the way beautiful cottage of the sages on the banks of the river Saraswati. Srila Prabhupada also writes that there are many rishis and saintly persons living in nice cottages in the banks of the Ganges and Yamuna for the purpose of spiritual cultivation. While passing through the Rishi Kulas, the king and his party were very much satisfied with the beauty of the cottages and hermitages. It is stated here, Pashan Asrama Sampada. Sampada is a treasury, richness, but not the modern richness, cement buildings, but those are made of the mud. Mud buildings actually, in the winter it gives a warmthness, in the summer it gives the coolness. And you can go to the villages in Africa, I don't know, in South Africa, in Botswana villages, still the houses are made with the mud. I used to go, in India also, if you go to villages, most of the houses you will find villages made of the mud. The beauty is that it is not expensive, but duration of life of the mud buildings not much, maybe 40, 50 years or maximum 60, 70, not more. But in summer you feel little cool compared to outside climate. In winter you feel warm because mud got the capacity, a quality of absorbing the heat. It was found, one of the devotee from Vada, that eco village, was telling, I think it is Gauranga Prabhu, they were investigating when we had the cement bricks walls, when whatever the heat comes to it, it will magnify by 20 times inside the room. They don't have the capacity to absorb the heat. Similarly, in the sun, when in the winter, whatever the coolness a cement bricks getting, it will magnify and give into the room. That's why we can see practically in the cement buildings, outside could be warm, but inside we feel more cold. In summer we feel inside more warmer than outside. But these buildings made of the mud is such that they are completely opposite nature. So that's why now some buildings, I don't know which temple they made it, the compressed mud blocks it is. They have strong, but they compressed so that they maintain that temperature, not too hot in summer. So in the gone days, all you can see, if you go to India, you can see that all the castle, big forts are there. They are all made of the mud only it is. Only few like a Delhi red fort, it is only outside made with the red stone. Other old forts, if you go interior, all the big fort castles you will find made of the muds. And they are still there more than 400, 500 years old, but you still find them intact. So that is the great treasury. The great sages had no skyscrapers, but the hermitages were so beautiful that the king was very much pleased at the sight. Just description. Stop here. There was nothing much to talk, so we covered 7 verses today. Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki jai, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai.